Hey guys, today the topic is being left for someone else. Why does this happen and what can you do about it? First of all, why does it happen? Basically, it can only happen if you couldn't maintain the attraction to your partner. Everyday life, you didn't develop the way she thought you would, or maybe it wasn't as high as it should have been from the beginning. To decide in detail about why the attraction could not be maintained, I leave to you. I have enough videos on the channel about it to maybe give you the problem, but it doesn't matter after the breakup for now anyway. I always like to use the metaphor of blinders for the whole thing. Your partner acts as if she has them on when her feelings and attraction to you are as high as you should want them to be. She doesn't look left and right, and all potential opponents for you are non-existent for her at that moment. But that changes quickly when you are no longer the force she initially thought you were. And this happens when her attraction to you gradually wears off. A world opens up for her that she may not have thought about for a long time, and the attention of others becomes interesting to her again. She enjoys this, because from your side, attention is no longer worth as much as it was when she thought you were the best deal for her. At best, you'll still be on par, like one of her many orbiters, held together by shared memories, plans, and maybe even a hurdle or two, like a shared apartment or children. But men, that will never really be a reason for a woman not to break up with you if her inner clock tells her she doesn't want to spend the next few years with you. Duty has been out of fashion for a long time, and you wouldn't want her to stay with you just because of a duty. Your goal is her love. And the more you try to work for it, the further away you get from her. For the whole thing, you put her on a pedestal and gradually get more and more down on your knees to desperately show her what a great guy you are. You give her everything she wants, but she doesn't want that from you anymore. If you're lucky, she'll be surprised that you're suddenly like this, but you won't earn any respect, and the moment when you should have done that to get a different reaction from her is long gone. The moment she took off her imaginary blinders and accepted the attention of others, she basically showed you that she no longer respected you as who you wanted to be for her and who she said she always wanted to be in the past. This is the point that you are missing then. She said she will always love you. She wants you. Maybe a week before everything felt good. They don't care at that moment, and they know it inside. Deeply subconsciously. But with acceptance it is such a thing. They have built up something with you and don't want to admit it themselves right away. Therefore, usually only the conversation from their side, when it is long too late and already a new one was found. And do not fool yourselves. With the then already longer written, flirted, maybe he was already tested in every possible way. After all, there is a somewhat larger hurdle, and you do not want to directly renounce the part of your life or buy a pig in a poke. Don't think that they have a new one from now on, and before that nothing has ever run in any form. That is one of the biggest disrespect they can give you. Always look at the actions of a woman, not what she says. And with every fiber of that action, she told you how little she respects you as a man and a person. And I don't know which is worse. Whether you were completely caught off guard, already suspected something, or even knew. Your first reaction to it is probably the one we all automatically have right away. Like we've been talked into it. We want it back and we want to give everything for it. All I can tell you is, don't. Leave it in any case. Totally don't care if you want her back, can imagine forgiving her, or just want her back so you can drop her again. There is no reason that justifies and achieves that you can do it at this moment. The only thing that awaits you is pain. You do not stop in such a case and leave it at what is good for you. If you start such a conversation with her after she told you the truth or just broke up with you, what do you want to achieve by finding out since when and with whom what is going on? What exactly does it bring you? I'll tell you. At best, fall into an emotional hole and wallow in your misery for the next few weeks, and at worst? Yes, what can you do with a name and an address? Forget about that right now. This will only help the new guy to strengthen his bond with her. You are then a common bogeyman about which you can gossip together in the evening in bed. Don't offer a target, never offer one in general. Whether your ex has a new guy or not. Everything that can be interpreted as an attack, against her or someone close to her. Actually, everything that concerns her and the relationship. Distance yourself from it as much as you can. This is the only way to turn your attention back to yourself. Of course, there are still many questions, but as I said, think that she must have tested the goods behind your back, otherwise it would not have happened so quickly. How, when, where, how often, and all that does not matter. Ask yourself if you can forgive such things in general or not. If the answer is yes, then off to no contact and build yourself up so that she realizes her mistake. Rebound relationships usually break themselves after the first infatuation phase, so don't worry, they realize they made a bad choice. The only question is whether or not they will then see you as better. And if you can't forgive that? No contact, build yourself up with the possibility to never contact her again. This way you don't ruin anything right from the start, in case you change your mind at some point. But you can decide from case to case, and it is the most mature action you can take. Both to you and to yourselves. You have to take care of yourselves now in any case, and as hopeless as it all seems to you. That she went straight for the next one, she justifies to herself somewhere, and it will tear her apart emotionally if it doesn't work. And if it does work out? Which, admittedly, can always be an option. You can, especially if you're dealing with the issue of relationships, commitment, and your own problems, also get stuck in partnerships that would never have worked out that way in the first place. Whether you are then reasonably happy, find the love of your life in the person, or remain unhappy for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter to you at that moment, because you were betrayed, humiliated, and dropped by a person who didn't feel enough for you to want to keep trying with you. And of course you want the complete opposite for yourself. You want a faithful partner who will do everything to spend time with you, and every minute of it will mean happiness and fun for both of you. Don't get me wrong there either. I'm not saying it always has to be this way, but striving for the non plus ultra and having it especially in the beginning. Not ignoring any red flags and having someone who wants you just as much as the other way around. They would have robbed you of that chance if they had stayed with you and this other guy. You think she won't do the same to him as she did to you? Those two deserve each other. Every woman I know who has done something like that hasn't done it just once. And there are always some imagined and justifying reasons for it. In the end, however, it was always largely due to themselves. Because of the ballast they carry around with them, which they could only untangle and solve when they are on their own. That's where you want them if you want to give them another chance. Because otherwise they won't deserve your trust. They need to have worked on themselves, and they can't do that in a rebound relationship. That's where they are right now. And especially in the beginning, they are distracted by everything else. But you aren't. You now have a motivation like seldom before in your life, when you feel so bad about the separation. Maybe you have already noticed it yourself, or maybe you are still lying on the ground and can't see it yet, but wait and see. You will soon surpass the guy without having met him even once. And she will gradually realize how serious her mistake actually was. Whether she arrives again or not. Take care and see you in the next video.